bash the hell out of
it's just
PlayStation Plus for July.
Oh, dude, that's so bad. I mean, if you want to bring that up during news, like there's really no other news to talk about, so we can do that.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, other than that, I just want to I want to talk about what we've been playing and what we've been watching and get out. Like, I feel like we can get in and out okay on this one.
Yeah, I don't see us going too long because I mean, Robbie and I probably tag up on my friend Pedro, and then I think I have one or two extra games that I could talk about real quick, and then you got Outer Worlds, right, that you want to go into?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Outer Wilds, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Does everybody have their Audacity up?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to give the countdown?
Go for it.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
And we're off.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hello, and welcome to That Pixel Life. This is episode 57. We're recording June 27, 2019. And I'm sorry for the couple-day delay there when we were supposed to record on Tuesday. I ended up having to work. Today is Thursday for those who are listening live. And I have worked 59 hours this week.
Ouch.
Oh, I've got another day to go. 14 hours in front of me, but hey, this is what we do to live in the Bay Area and have 2 kids. Why did I make these choices? Why? I just, man, idiot. Anyway, but we decided today's episode, we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to actually talk about the games we've been playing. I know it's weird. It's been a month, I feel like, since we've actually discussed things we've been playing or movies we've seen or anything of that nature. So we're going to get our head out of the clouds. We're going to stop dreaming about what might come someday, one day, what games look cool but aren't out yet, and talk about some things that we've actually been doing. So to do that, I have with me as always, Mr. Shannon Moore.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, I'm lovely. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Just taking a break from doing, last night. I don't know if any of you watched. I was on the Democratic debate last night. So luckily, I have tonight off so that I can record with you guys, talk about the important topics, which is video games and video gaming culture.
I'll check back in on the Democratic debates when it doesn't look like a freaking spelling bee for old white people.
And really just being pretentious about trying to pronunciate Spanish words that they've never spoken Spanish in their entire lives.
Yeah.
And that's coming from someone who has a mother who's a Spanish teacher for 20-something years. So
my favorite comment I saw was Beto O'Rourke looks like a personification of gentrification. And I was like, oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty solid. Anyway, this is not Politico podcast. This is Pixel Life. And the other host that you heard is Mr. Robert Seltenpool.
What's up, fellas?
How you doing?
A little angry at Xbox right now. So if you want
strange.
Yeah, if you want an old-fashioned Robbie rant, I got one queued up for you.
All right.
I got a simple solution for you, Robbie. You just turn it off and put it in your closet. And that's where mine has been for the last 8 months, and I don't regret it.
Well, I may be right there with you if this doesn't work.
I also have a solution for you. It's called Stop Playing Overwatch. But
okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start this.
Yeah, just get into it.
Because there's a cool reason why I want to play Overwatch. Which I didn't get.
Already false. So
no. You'll like this because I did not tell you guys about this at all. So I have some buddies. Their names Aaron and Adrian Gibson. What's up, guys? And they are huge Xbox guys, huge Xbox players, and they're become really big Overwatch players. But what they've also done is they've gotten a group of people together who got a group of people together, and they created their own Overwatch league. And one of them is actually Adrian. He actually is, the host and he does the overlay. He does like who's on offense, who's on defense, who scores. Like they've put a lot of effort into this. And this past month, they began their first season of their league. And I hit Adrian up a couple nights ago because I was having a father breakdown because my son was in the urgent care, and it was freaking me the heck out. And
everything's all good though, right?
Yeah, he just had pink eye, but I swear he looked like it looked like an episode of Fringe or X-Files.
Was that your first time with the infant conjunctivitis? Because man, that's something.
Yeah, dude, it was so bad. And Lisa and I just felt so horrible because he had like 101, 102 fever. We couldn't do anything. It was hard. Anyway, I called him. He didn't answer. Then he calls me back the next day, and we're just talking, catching up. I call him a bad friend for not answering the phone when I needed him. But then he's like, Robbie, man, I see you're playing Overwatch all the time. I was like, yeah, man, on PC. And he's like, man, I wish y'all were playing on Xbox. And then we just start talking. He tells me about this. And I was like, you know what, man, the game's only like a used copy of this game's only like $20. Like I've played this game so many hours. Like it's probably worth another $20 just to get it on Xbox. And over the last 3 days, I have bought 3 copies, 2 used, 1 new, of Overwatch, and not a single one of those discs have been read on my Xbox. And before some of you smart aleck listeners say, did you turn it off, turn it back on? Did you put in a new system? Did you put in a different system? All that? Yes, I've done all that. I worked at GameStop. I know how to freaking troubleshoot a system. Not a freaking dang thing worked. And it wouldn't even read it. Wouldn't even read the freaking disc at all. And then
hey, I got you to at least be able to read it.
Yes. You got me to a point where I was able to, at least for it to recognize the system. But now here's what it's doing. It says it's installing at 0.0%, but then it gives me the indication that it stopped downloading. And I'm like, what the crap? I've never had this problem with Sony. I just want to point that out. Never in my life have I had this problem with Sony. And also, this is a complete conjecture. This has nothing to do with Xbox directly, but it's super weird right now that you cannot buy the original Origins edition of Overwatch on PSN or Xbox. You can only buy the deluxe edition or the legendary edition, which is just super weird to me.
That's all Blizzard. That ain't Microsoft. Like that's Blizzard saying, no, we want to have the full package that milks everyone out of their dollars in the store. Not that OG stuff. But yes, I have a game you should try that we will talk about in games we've been playing that might help you with your problems.
Yeah.
A because it's Game Pass and you don't need a disc. But you know, we'll figure it out. But in the meantime, have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in?
Have you tried blowing in the CD reader drive area?
That was one of the first things I did.
Did you get your grubby thumbprints off the disc? Did you?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I have a very nice cloth.
You know, little microfiber.
Little nice cloth to rub it down on ice, like, you know, play some Barry Manilow while I'm wiping it down.
Yeah, when we got our car, it came with one because the touchscreen. You know, like you can't just have a stereo in a car. It has to be like a full like computer now. You know, it's got a friggin' iPad in it, so it came with a microfiber cloth to wipe down the horrible fingerprints it collects. I thought that was interesting.
That is cool.
But yeah, real quick, just some housekeeping. Follow us at Pixel Life. The Twitter account's been kind of dormant, but we should get back on that. It's more my fault than anything. I've just been lazy. And being honest also. But get on the Facebook group. You can see my ridiculous addiction to Konami Pixel Puzzle as it progresses in real time. You can talk some Pokemons with some other people while we all whip out our
the new Harry Potter game. The new handheld Pokemon Go Harry Potter game.
I have not messed with that. Have you?
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about that to death here in a few minutes.
Okay.
We actually have games to talk about this time.
Dude, this is exciting. Like, it's been...
And I have
kidding.
4 movies. I have like 4 movies to talk about, too.
I have movies. I never see movies, and I have movies. But like, yeah, no, it's one of those things where Shannon earlier in the week was like, "So what's the show about this week?" And I'm sitting there like, "Damn it, let's actually like talk about things we've been playing." I feel like it's been so long since any of us have just sat down and been like, "Hey, you know what I played? And here's what we've been playing and how awesome this game is or how bad this game is." Like, it's been so long. So I figured we'd just get back to form and do a little bit of that. Yeah, and also it's a good week for it because as far as industry buzz goes, insert gif of tumbleweed blowing down the road here because that's industry buzz right now. We're in post E3 time. No one's talking about nothing.
There's two small things that I have. Whenever you're ready, I can throw it out there.
Go for it.
But okay, so the first thing, and this is a more serious thing, but Jason Schreier yesterday tweeted out that just talking about he's gotten dozens and dozens of people coming at him, giving him information about how the contractors have been mistreated at certain companies. I don't know if you guys saw that. I don't know if y'all saw that.
The story I saw was Call of Duty, right? It was that studio. Was that the one that came out?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pulling up his Twitter feed right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is great radio. Yes, it is at Treyarch.
Yeah,
Treyarch. And you know, like some people have kind of gone at him and said, you know, like this isn't that big a deal, or every contractor situation's like that. And I just gotta point out, like, okay, does that mean it's right? And also, his field is video games. His field is not regular contractor work at other businesses. It's for video games. And so when dozens and dozens of people come at him, like that's a huge percentage of developers within the field of video games, and especially with big corporations like Treyarch, and hearing how the contractors have been ostracized from like get-togethers and gatherings and parties and stuff. As someone who used to be a contract worker at a certain affiliate that I will not mention, just for reasons, but like I know how it feels to be a contractor and treated like you're kind of lower than anything, like you're lower than everyone else. Go ahead.
I'll tell stories because I'll name names. When I was 20 years old, so we are reaching way back now. It was right before the PlayStation 2 launched, and I got a job as a Q3 tester for Sony, which basically is a third-party tester. Quality assurance, whatever you want to call it, but it was tester at the time. And essentially we played games before they came out and documented bugs and sent them back to the developers, and they determined if they needed to fix them to pass cert or not. That was the whole job. Now that job was $12 an hour, and it was a 40-hour-a-week job, which it was not a 40-hour-a-week job. It was a 66.5-hour-a-week job. You were expected to work overtime. It wasn't really negotiated. It was just one of those, here's how long we expect you to be here for. You can leave. You can also not have a job again. It was at will contract. The contract term was 1 year, and there were two rules. You had to show up for work, and you had to keep your shoes on. Like, I straight up saw people playing games with their shoes off and get fired on the spot. Like, literally, like, people had been there for months, you know, and never missed a shift, and they took their shoes off while they were working and fired right there. Like, it was brutal. It was one of the most ruthless working environments. That being said, I was 20 years old making an insane amount of money because, I mean, it essentially worked out to like $700 something a week. And I was working literally every day, so I never had a chance to spend it. You know, so it was just, I was just stacking checks, you know. But the most brutal part was we had the holiday party, right? It is Christmas. We're going on Christmas break, which was 2 weeks. And it was the holiday party, a big conference room. Everyone's there. And like, these are like bigwig Sony people. Like the PlayStation 2 had just come out. It was a massive success. Everyone's happy. We're getting tons of work because games are pouring in for testing. And, you know, there's 50 something people in this conference room. They're reeling the food in. The big boss comes in and he's like, okay, so real quick, And he starts naming like 5 names. This person, this person, this person, and this person. Could you guys come up to the front, please? And everyone, literally, like leads, heads, the rest of the contractors, everyone assumed like they won some door prize. Like it's Christmas, like it's some sort of like giveaway or something, right? And everyone like excitedly comes up to the front, and he just really quick goes, yeah, so unfortunately you guys aren't employed here anymore. If you'll follow security, they'll take you to get your things, and thank you.
Cool.
And it was like the record scratch. Dead silence. You could have heard a pin drop. Everyone was like, is this a joke? No, it was not a joke. Security was standing right there. Like, okay, come on, let's go. And I mean, it was just like, this was the working environment, like,
yeah,
as a contractor at Sony, and it was ruthless. So I can only imagine what it's like for people further down the hole. You know, like I was on the outer ring of that dealing with that on a daily basis. So I can only imagine when you're in the trenches how much worse it is.
Yeah, and so like I think it's a big deal to talk about. I think it's important to talk about. And, you know, there are people who are going to say, well, you know, these guys signed contracts and that's fair. They chose to get in this field and all that stuff. But like, I just don't think there's anything wrong with making situations a little bit better for those. Just like with college athletes and how they're bringing in millions and possibly billions of dollars for schools, they may deserve a little bit of that, you know, coming in. Just like with video game developers. I'm not saying I don't have a strong stance on how much or anything like that. I'm just saying bringing these things to light is not a bad thing. What do you got, Shannon?
Nothing.
Okay, that's great. That's encouraging.
I mean, I don't think I've ever. I mean, it sucks. I mean, but it's just, I don't think I have anything new to add to the story that I haven't already said before, as far as like, you know, it comes down to the environment and changing the environment that everybody's working in, you know, finding that equal, finding the care for the people that are working on your game, the security that they look for in their jobs, you know, the workplace environment, all of that, like, just needs to take a huge step in the right direction. And I think Nintendo's like starting to turn that tide a little bit, and like they're starting to delay their games, and they're starting to kind of draw things out a little bit more to help the contractors and to help the employees and to help the people that are making their games. But I think ultimately, like, it's going to be a very slow process. So, you know, unfortunately right now I'm just going to be that broken record. You know, things have to change, and you have to start seeing that change, and it comes to the employees to force the companies into that situation, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, you know, you just got to start taking care of yourself and not be afraid to stand up and hope that other people are going to have your back. And that's kind of a sad situation that you have to put yourself in.
100%. Yeah. And then the second bit of news that I had was just the lackluster booty level of games that PlayStation Plus decides to give us this month. Like, you've taken away PS3 games, you've taken away Vita games, and you're going to give us Pro Evolution Soccer and some game that I've never even heard of before. Like, I just, Zach, maybe, and you, I know, yeah. I guess I can assume what your response is going to be, but I just was under the impression that we were going to get higher level or better games once they started taking away the other two consoles.
Well, I think that's the plan, but it's also one of those things, they're so far ahead. Why? Like, what at this point, why? You know, like that's a bullet you can save for when you actually need it. You know, like, sure, would I love to have gotten Days Gone or something along those lines?
That's coming. I'm telling you, I feel it. I feel it in my loins. Like, it's coming.
That's holiday. That's a get a PlayStation 4 and sign up for PS Plus, and look, you get this game that was out this year and an exclusive. You know,
I'm surprised Horizon hasn't been one yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Horizon. I'm actually shocked that, like, the Uncharted trilogy hasn't either. But
that's a good one too.
Mm-hmm. But again, you know, it's all they never put out Knack either. But who knows? You know. So.
But yeah, that's all I had was newsworthy.
The only other bit of news out there is that a bunch of stuff leaked about a Nintendo Switch Mini coming out that looks to be a Nintendo Switch with the Joy-Cons attached, kind of Vita looking type device. Just I make sense. That's the only. I don't
Does
really
it have Bluetooth?
who knows, but that's the only thing that I really think about it is like, sure, that makes sense. Like if I have a household with 2 kids, sure, I got 2 Switches now, like one's docked, one's not. Okay, great. Like there's no one knows if it has Rumble or if it comes with a dock or anything like that. But, a cynical person would say, no, it doesn't. So you need to buy a dock. And then once you dock it, you can use Joy-Cons that you now have to buy, or a Pro controller that you have to buy, or this, that, and the other thing. But, so we'll see. It's a portable system, a primarily only portable system, assumingly. But it makes sense. I don't really know. It's not really that big of a news thing to me. It's more of those like, how hasn't it happened already?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Just, I told you guys last week that I've kind of moved on from Nintendo, and it does interest me, like a new console, like a new laid out console. But I personally I don't want to have to use an app for my phone to talk to people. I want to be able to use Bluetooth, and I would like my battery life to not be 2.5 hours. But that's just me as just a gamer in general. Bluetooth is kind of important for me because all of my headphones are Bluetooth, except for my one set of iPhone headphones.
Well, and I would think that if the case is one solid piece, so there's no Joy-Cons, that gives bigger space for a battery. If you wanted to add battery life to it, that would be an improvement that I think would perk up people's ears.
I wish that thing would go pure digital. I wish the Switch would go pure digital.
For me, it basically is.
Yeah.
the only carts I have are ones that I've been gifted. I've not made any purchases on it that have been carts. So I don't know. It just it fits the system better than anything else. So I don't know. Shannon, you care at all about a Switch Mini? Is Shannon gone?
Yeah, he's not there.
Okay. All right, moving on. Well, I guess that's all we really got for news as far as we're concerned. So why don't we go ahead and talk about some things we've been playing?
Yes, sir.
For once.
Yes, sir.
For reals. Now, I've been talking about on Facebook group and to you guys, probably to the point where you want me to shut up about it. You need to try The Outer Wilds. It's a game that is on Game Pass right now. And it was just gotten enough buzz that I downloaded it through Game Pass just to see what it's about. And, I saw on Twitter, people were like, I fell in a creek and drowned in 5 minutes, game of the year, like stuff like that. Like it's one of those. So it's a first person perspective. You're an alien. You wake up on a planet and these people are talking to you. Villagers of your village are talking to you. Basically, you come to the conclusion that you've been training to be an astronaut, like literally your entire life. And today's the day. Today's the day you're getting launched into space. The guys built the ship. They're ready to go. You got to go to the observatory and get some launch codes. And on the way to the observatory, you're getting pieces of the story of like who you are and where you are and what, like basically the whole thing of this race of aliens is that they've kind of figured out star travel and but they're still primitive in a lot of ways. But this is like their one thing that they do is they figured out how to like travel in space and colonize and all that stuff. So you're next in a line of villagers that has been chosen to go find planets and go research and do all this stuff. And the other side of it is there's an ancient race of aliens that they have found relics of throughout the galaxy and including your planet. And it's they have their own language and they've got all these secrets and you kind of surmise that that's how your race has figured out how to travel was through studying this ancient race. So you're also tasked with finding out more about them, like figuring out what's going on. And you've got a decoder that allows you to read their ruins for the first time and all this stuff. So people are all excited to get you out there and go. And they've got a brand new statue that they've unearthed from one of the planets of one of the alien races. And you go to the observatory, get the launch codes. I'm not really spoiling anything. This is all like the first 20 minutes of the game. You go to the observatory, get the launch codes. And as you go to leave the observatory, the statue that they brought out that you can examine in full before turns and looks at you. It turns, its eyes open, and essentially everything you have done up until that point flashes before your eyes in like 2 seconds. And you kind of have a moment. You talk to the dude next to you, like, did anyone see that? And no one knows what you're talking about, but everyone's like, oh crap, the eyes on the statue are open. How did that happen? But like no one saw any of this. And but then you kind of keep going and you get in your ship, and if you're like me, you die immediately because this game doesn't tell you anything about what's going on. Like it's almost like this is. I've wanted to make this point. I think this is like the problem Dark Souls has made for gaming with the like, okay, go figure it out. Here's the world, just go. And so you have games now that are like this, which are very much a No Man's Sky type thing, but they tell you nothing. Like there's like an anti-gravity cave where you can kind of figure out how to like float around in space. But when it comes to flying, it's just like, yeah, get in there. There's buttons. You'll figure it out. Go. And it's just like, shit, okay. So like you launch into space, and I tried to land on the moon because that's the first place they tell you to go is the moon, and talk to some other dude. And I try to land on the moon and instantly crash and burn. Wreckage all over the place. I can't get off the moon. I'm stuck. Like it's just one of those like, well, I don't know what to do now, and like you're injured and I'm trying to talk to this dude, but he's offering you no help. But that's when the game kicks in, the game part of it, which is you realize you are all of a sudden a supernova happens, or I'm assuming that's it, because a huge wave of heat and light like envelop you and you die and you wake back up on the planet. Like same exact opening sequence. And that's the hook of the game, is you are in a time loop. You have 20 minutes. And from that point on, you are limited to explore in 20 minutes, and you have to figure it out. Like the point is you learn. So there's like a tree planet you can go to. There's a water planet. There's comets. There's unexplored planets that you can go to. And each one gives you kind of another piece of the puzzle. And each one has their own things that you can do on them to help the people that are there, to explore, to talk to people, to get more story, to try to piece together what the hell is going on and why you are in this time loop, and what you can do to get out of it, what you can do to save people. But it's all up to you. There's no set, like you got to go here, then go there, then go there, then go there. It starts to become that way as you play, because you go like, because that's the other side of it, is every 20 minutes it resets, but your ship log and everything keeps what you've explored. So you start piecing the puzzle together 20 minutes at a time, and it becomes fascinating. Like, does the game have problems? Yes, it absolutely does. The controls get a little wonky. There's some pacing issues with the story. There are some moments that get incredibly frustrating when it's just like, I just need to get over this ridge and I can't like boost enough to get up high enough to grab onto this damn rock to get over this. Like there's a couple, and like I said, most of the frustration I have with the game is control. Like control is the frustrating part, but the story beats and the 20-minute time loop, it's fascinating. It becomes like all enveloping. It becomes the ultimate, just one more run. Oh, I think I got something. I need 20 more minutes. Okay, just one more run. Okay, wait, no, I got one more thing. Okay, now I need to go here. Okay, one more 20 minutes. One more 20 minutes. And it's like you get just a little further every time, and it becomes amazing. Like it's a game I cannot recommend high enough. It's probably my favorite game I've played this year at this point. Like, it's a game I can't stop thinking about. It's one of those games that I'm at work going like, oh, wait, I need to go back to, to the ocean planet and talk to the dude there. And I remember now there's runes there that I didn't explore, and I need to get back there and figure out what's happening there. And it's like, because like there's because there's like I said, there's like a forest planet, but then there's this planet Giants Deep, which is all water, and there's huge tornadoes on the surface. There's like very little land, so you have to figure out where to land. You got to figure out what's there. You can only go so deep under the water because there's a force keeping you out. So you got to figure out what that's about. Why can't you go deep? What's happening down there? It's a whole thing, and just every little thread gives you just enough to keep going a little further the next time. And the way they drip the content out is perfect. It's awesome. It's one of those things I want more people to play it because I want to talk about the deeper game stuff in depth. And it's also one of those games though where I think if I knew, I have not beaten it, but I have a feeling it's going to be one of those things like when I do, you could probably just get in the craft and beat it. Like in the first 20 minutes, if you knew exactly what to do and where to go. So it's a little like Breath of the Wild in that regard, but
it's a good game.
It's good. It's really good.
No, I was saying in comparison to Breath of the Wild.
In comparison, it's actually fun. I have fun playing this, unlike Breath of the Wild. So, but I get like Josh tried to play it and he said he didn't get it. It was like I didn't know what to do and it felt totally aimless. And it's like, yeah, I totally get that criticism. I understand it completely. The thing is about it though, is that's just how it presents itself. If you give that game 2 hours, you begin to realize real fast that it is not aimless in any sense of the word. It's just that you need to figure out the aim. It's very directed, but you have to figure out the direction. And it's just really damn cool. Like it's just really damn cool, So Robbie, do yourself a favor. It's free on Game Pass. Download.
Yeah, I've got it. I've got it installed. I've got some games, or I've got one game now on the docket that I've really just been wanting to play for a long time. So, and that game's kind of taking precedent. Are you done with your games? And then,
yeah. That's literally every moment I've had. I've been playing Outer Wilds because I can't stop playing Outer Wilds. So it's for me. It's been Outer Wilds and Konami Pixel Puzzle for life. Okay. Poor Vita. Just wrap up though. But yeah, I was telling Robbie, got to download Outer Wilds. Shannon, you got to download Outer Wilds. It's absolutely worth your time. It's just really damn cool. That's all. Okay, so go ahead, Robbie.
I have been playing. First, I want to talk about Wizards Unite, which is the Harry Potter version of Pokemon Go.
Harry Potter Go.
Yeah, Harry Potter Go. You know what? That's what I'm going to start calling it so people know. It is Harry Potter Go. It is exactly like Pokemon Go, but I think they do some things differently in a smart way. You can definitely tell that, like, Pokemon Go is great out the gate, out of just nostalgia and the concept. But as you went along, like, you started realizing more and more, like, there are some things that needed to change, and they've made those changes. But you can see throughout this that they have really put in effort and learned from Pokemon Go, because it's the same company that made Pokemon Go. It is just a game to get you outside, to get you moving around, to take care of little different magical creatures and who are causing mischief in your house, or going through castles and trying to take out ogres. Like, it is a progressive system. It is really well done. I could talk about it for a while, but I don't want to. I just want to tell you guys, like, hey, you should go play this. If you like Harry Potter, if you liked Pokemon Go, you should download it. I'll post my friend code in the Facebook group this weekend whenever I have time to actually sit down or walk around and go play again. But my wife really enjoys the game too. And she wasn't really a big Pokemon person, but she loves Harry Potter. And so, like, I feel like this has been really cool by them who, hey, this is the group who grew up with Pokemon. Like, this is a great concept. Now it's moved on to, it almost feels like a different sect of people that it does cross over a little bit, but a big group of people who are like, oh man, you get to be in a house. You get to, you get to be a wizard and do all this cool stuff. And I think it's really well done. It looks really pretty too in the certain AR moments. So I recommend that.
Does AR play a bigger role in this? Because like AR is a thing in Pokemon that is neat for a minute and then you never use it again. So
like instead of like flicking a ball at the little thing, like you have to do a swipe of the wand, but it's basically a finger strike in a certain shape, or however they tell you to do it, and you wisp your wand in that angle. The AR is fine. Like it's just if you weren't blown away by it in Pokemon, you're gonna be blown away by it here. Okay. But it is really funny to just be walking in my house and then all of a sudden I pull up my phone and I see these two little nymphs like fighting over a bag of flour in my kitchen. Like I think that's really cool. The other game, and Shannon, at the end I'm gonna mention the game we've both been playing so we can talk about it together. Okay. The other two games that I've been jumping into is Rainbow Six Siege, and
talk about throwing it back.
Man. Yeah, man. I can't remember who it was. It was one of my college students and one of my high school students, from our church group, who were like, "Hey, man, you should get this game. Like we've been playing it. I think you'll find it really fun." And it was like $15, and so I picked it up and I played for a couple hours, and I was like, "Man, this game's a lot of fun." And so we started playing, and then I dropped the $20 on the season pass for year 4 and opened up like 4 or 5 different operators. And I started playing with different characters and started seeing like it's very tactical, which is a lot of fun. I think one of the failures of it is it does get really redundant because like with Overwatch, Overwatch is 4 years old. And some people may find that redundant, but I would argue that the map diversity and the different the different game types keep it diverse enough to keep you entertained for a couple hours if you want to play it. Rainbow Six Siege is really fun. It still looks really good. It's the gun shooting is so tight, but you are still just going into a small building, a small corridor building, and you are trying to either defuse a bomb or capture a hostage, or you're on the inverse of that. And so I will say this. I'm very surprised that this game is 4 years old and it is a esport. But it is fun to play. I've been playing it a little bit with my friends. I wish I could have played more. I just haven't had a lot of time because the little man's been sick lately. And honestly, I've just been so freaking tired. But been playing Rainbow Six Siege. I really enjoy it. I hope you guys will, if you haven't played it, like just give it a chance. Go pick it up used and just give it a chance for a weekend if you're looking for something like that, some kind of shooter.
Well, my fear is it's been out for so long that the people that are playing it, like they're going to be like really, really good, and I'm just going to get murdered.
Well, okay, look, that is not a fault. That is not a in vain worry. But I will say that I do get a couple of kills. Like I've gotten some kills. Or sometimes I don't even die because I play the role that I'm given. Like, I can't remember the names of the characters, but there's a character who puts up shields, who can put up a metal shield and who can lay down armor for characters. Like when I play him, like I basically use myself as a distraction, to hide behind the barrier and let them attack me while someone else comes up behind them and shoots them or gets in a range of shooting them. So it does kind of have like a different role aspect, which may be good for you, Shannon. But I mean, I won't lie. Whenever it comes to a Twitch shooter, and at times it does, like I always lose because I'm just not good at Twitch shooters. I will say this though, like I have an Elite controller for Xbox because I still think it's probably the best controller ever made, that Elite controller. But playing Siege, made me really want to get a SCUF controller for PS4, just because I knew it's like that. It's like the Elite controller where you can get the hairline triggers and stuff like that.
It's not as hefty though. It doesn't have that weight to it, but
it's super light. And I think the weight is actually what makes the Elite controller so enjoyable for me. Like, I'm not even an Xbox guy, but I'm not gonna lie whenever I say, I'd be lying if I didn't say there's a part of me that wants to pre-order the Elite controller too, for no reason, because the new console comes out next year. And then so the game that I've for some reason been dying to play lately, and I finally installed it because I forgot that it was on Origins Premiere, and I have that. I am gonna be playing through Dragon Age Inquisition again.
Wow.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm just in the mood right now for an open world RPG that has a great narrative and fun characters. I'm in the mood for it. That's what I want. I was like, I could go back to Mass Effect Andromeda. Like, no, I want to play a fun game. And I want to play a fun story. But I was like, oh man, I could go through Witcher 3 again because I already have that on my PC. And I was like, man, I don't really want to spend 200 hours on a game. I just want to go through. I just want to go through an open world game a little bit and remember the good times of BioWare. And then the last game, and so I'll probably have a little update on that next week as I hopefully get a chance to jump in and play some. But the next game is the game that Shannon and I are playing, and I actually don't know Shannon's feelings about it. So I'm going to say the game, and I want Shannon to talk because I have beaten the game already. So I probably have a little bit more thoughts on it than he does. But the game is My Friend Pedro. Shannon, if you want to give them a dose of what that game is.
That game is bonkers. So essentially what it is you're this right now, all I've gotten as far as story is concerned is you're this like mercenary killer or like mercenary of some type. You wake up and you have this banana talking to you, telling you that you need to get out of this place. You need to start killing these people. And you basically walk out this door and in this side-scrolling action bullet time, like shoot 'em up, like begins. And you start out with pistols. You start doing flips and learning how to dodge and getting all these mechanics down within the first couple stages. And by the time you probably get maybe like halfway through the game, you feel like you're in like a really good John Woo movie that like you're kind of controlling, like, people are doing flips and you're doing like the whole like like aiming at two people, like spraying your Uzis, like it's slow motion, so every bullet is just like pegging people and like they're ragdolling all over the place. I mean, it's just the insanity of it all is crazy. And then you add like the physics of ricochet bullets and gasoline cans that you can kick into the air in between people, and then you can shoot the tanker and it explodes and kills people. And or a frying pan, like I'm pretty sure, Robbie, the frying pan is probably like your favorite, like
100,000%. And I find whatever way possible to keep it going through the level with me. Like I will kick that thing through the level with me just so I can keep playing with it.
That's awesome,
dude. The sickest thing is my favorite thing, and I have a ton of GIFs that I downloaded, and because as you make every run through the level, it gives you an opportunity to save what they believe is your best kill, which is not always the case, but sometimes they hit it right. But my favorite thing to do was to kick a frying pan up into the air, slow down time because you have bullet time, and just wipe everyone out that's above me. Just kill them all.
Oh my god!
Shannon, if you don't mind me telling, asking, have you gotten to the dream sequence yet? Okay, have you gotten to? So that means you've gotten to the bike where you're on the motorcycle.
Yeah, the motorcycle was like the first boss. Right?
Yeah. So you got the motorcycle, you got to the dream. Have you gotten the sick rifle? Yeah.
Yes. That was the hardest level, I think, the start to a level, because you basically just get dropped down into a crossfire and both people on both sides have that really powerful rifle. Like it took me.
It has a grenade with it.
Yeah, dude. Like it took me like a minute to figure out how to like get through that situation without getting like pummeled. But
Wait, so the dream sequence isn't the talking banana telling you
No,
to kill people?
no, no.
Okay.
That's, I can't.
Okay.
Okay, Zach, I'm not kidding. It is just the most ridiculous game. Like as far as narrative or what's going on around your character is the most dumb, stupid thing ever. But the combos, the I know some people have complained about controls. I didn't have that problem. Like early on, like it took me a few minutes to get used to the controls, but once I did, like I was making sick runs with that game. Like, and just
what are you playing on?
PC.
Okay.
And I was able to map my buttons on my Elite controller to where it made things a little bit easier. But even before I did that, I still didn't have a problem with the controller. But like and I'm sure Shannon will affirm to this, but like kicking the frying pan down to the lower level and then slowing down time and flipping down, spinning and shooting the frying pan and letting it wipe out everyone around you is so sick. And then like, have you gotten the shotgun yet?
Mhm.
Have you gotten the sniper rifle?
no.
Oh, oh, buddy. Okay, I'm going to shut up then, and I know what part to stop at. The story has a twist at the end. It's whatever, but I think this is one of those games. I always mention games like this, Resogun, Nex Machina, Dead Cells to a degree. Just get a game about runs and about going through a level and just having fun playing it within the level, like just playing within a certain level. This is going to be that game for me forever. Like sometimes I just put on Nex Machina and I just go through and try to make a run because also the soundtrack is sick as hell. I don't know about you, Shannon, but like I didn't really love the soundtrack as much as I thought I would. Do you?
No, I don't really care for it that much.
Yeah.
But I was getting back to the control scheme. I actually got it on the Switch. Yeah, the Switch controls, like that's where the complaints are coming from. Like that is a horrible button layout for a lot of the.
They're also not sturdy buttons.
No. If you're playing this on the Switch, I would recommend playing it with the Pro Controller. Don't play it with the Joy-Cons because you are going to hate life. So that would be my one recommendation if you're going to buy it on the Switch. But yeah, I mean, I'm playing it. I think, like, I gotta say the shotgun's probably gonna be my favorite gun. I mean, the fact that you can't target multiple targets kind of sucks, but like just the sheer damage it does, and the way, I mean, you're basically it wants you to speed run like this level, so you can keep your multiplier going, which is basically you get a grade at the end of the level. So you get like either A, B, C, or S, A, B, or C. Like most of the levels, until I got my Pro Controller set up to play with my Switch, I was like in the C range. Now I'm probably in the B range until I get to bosses, and then usually for some reason when I do the boss levels, I get like S's. But yeah, dude, I love that game. Like
it's so fun,
and it's not afraid to make fun of itself either, which is great. Like that's
oh my gosh, it makes
when you go into the sewers and like you got all the fanboys down there. That's pretty much like that's where I'm at right now. Like where the going to the server room, I think is where I'm going.
There's a lot of like subtext making fun of like Google and online gaming and just gamers in general. Like I won't lie, this is probably top 3 games of the year for me right now.
Damn.
Like, yeah, like it's I don't know if it'll stay there, but this is like Dead Cells for me last year. Like I just didn't care about the story. I didn't care about the narrative. Just one of those games that was just so freaking fun to play. And I think it looks really cool too. Like I don't know how it looks on the Switch, but I love the style of it on PC. But it's the freaking sickest feeling in the world. Like jumping down like a corridor and you're falling down a corridor. You slow down bullet time. You're literally falling face down, and you aim out both hands like a freaking like it's Face Off and John Woo movie, and you're spinning and shooting these dudes that are all going down, and they're shooting at you too, and you're spinning away from dodging them, and you're just shooting them all in the face. And then
so it's basically a game that of the last 30 minutes of Hot Fuzz.
Yes,
100%. Add in John Wick with that, yes, 100%.
Right. Sweet.
And then throw in just randomly for the hell of it, they put a skateboard in the game, and you can just randomly go through a level with a skateboard, and you can. Zach, I'm not kidding. I ramped up off a skateboard, slowed down time, pulled my guns out, went right through a window, and the glass shatters around me as I'm going through it. And I just shoot a dude, one dude up here who's aiming at me, and one dude right here that's aiming at me too. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the greatest feelings in the world.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing is like I like this a lot better than Dead Cells, because this one I feel it's a lot more forgiving, and also
like, well, it also sounds a lot more frenetic. You know, like Dead Cells is a very deliberate game.
It's trying to punish you. Like Dead Cells trying to punish you. John Wick, that's what I'm gonna start calling it. John Wick is trying to just make you feel like a bad A.
Pretty much. Yeah, and you do, like, there's so many times in that game where I just laughed at like something I did that was stupid, like kickflip with the skateboard, like you were saying, like right through a window, like spray this dude over here, hit the gas can over there, like, and then like before you knew it, you like just burked like 4 people, like.
And Zach, I think you'd like. There's puzzles to the game too. Mm-hmm. Like there are times where you have to figure out, okay, there's a switch here that I've got to hit. Can I ricochet a bullet off this little metal frame to hit the switch to move on forward? And then there's, Shannon, just to forewarn you, there is some tough platforming in the late game where there's these like. I'm not going to spoil the game, but like there's these like trap beams, these beams that are going every which way, and you have to shoot the beam to make it stop for like 3 seconds, and you've got to hurry to get through and platform up and jump off this wall back and forth to get through the level. Like I don't know. I just think this game is one of those like surprise hits for me that kind of come out of nowhere. Again, I'm not saying game type, but the small type game that just really hooks me, like Nex Machina, like Resogun, like this is one of those games, or Salt and Sanctuary, just like one of those small level games that are just trying to be fun.
Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate that it's not coming to Xbox One or PlayStation.
It'd be so sick on PlayStation or Xbox.
I mean, hopefully it sells well enough that they can't help but bring it to the other consoles, because I'll be honest, the only way I would play it would be the Switch, and enough you've said enough of the control issues, then I've looked up enough about frame rate and stuff on Switch that's made me go, I don't know.
I mean, right now I can definitely tell you that PC is where the role to play it at, but I could easily see this game being on PlayStation by the end of the year.
Yeah. I just hope, like I said, I hope it sells well enough that they can't not, that Microsoft and Sony are going to be knocking on their door going, hey guys, let's get this thing rolling, Yeah,
agreed. So. But that's all I got. I don't know about you, Shannon.
Well, in addition to that, I've been playing this other game called, I think it's called like Lapis Labyrinth. And it was something that I was just I was looking for a game to play that wasn't, that I could play on my Switch, and I was waiting for Fire Emblems to come out and all that other stuff. And this one kind of caught my eye just because they said it was like a simple hack and slash, just a no-brainer, like a simple game to play, but it's addictive and it's fun. And I could see the appeal to it. Basically, what you are is you're a hero. And you come across this village that's kind of deserted. There's like maybe 3 or 4 people living in the village. They want to try to find a way to get adventurers to come back to their town to kill the monsters surrounding their town and make them popular again. So they've opened up a like a guild, and you are there's I think there's 5 heroes to start out with. You pick one of them, and then you start going through these dungeons. And basically, the dungeons are they give you 5 minutes to get through the dungeon. Otherwise, like a big monster or a big ghost comes and kills you. You basically have a chance to run away from it. But what you want to do is like going through the dungeon. You want to go, just murder all the monsters that are in the dungeon, and if you can get your streaks together fast enough, you go into like this rush mode where you become invincible, and then everything.
Now, is this like Diablo style, or is this?
No, it's more of like a side scroller platformer, and it's more cartoony. It kind of reminds me of like not like a Funko Pop character, but like similar to it, like a little bit more art to it than that. And then as you progress, like you get gems when you get into like these fever modes, and basically that's what you collect to buy more mercenaries. Now, when you get these mercenaries, they stack on top of your head, so you create like this tower like of people, and they give you stat bonuses. They give you bonuses to when you use your special moves, and they give you more hit points, more health. So it's kind of like a way to level up your characters. They all like have RPG elements to it. So there's a lot of different, I guess, plates spinning, if you will, because like you got to think about like what dungeon you're going into and what elements are there and what heroes you have that are at certain levels that you can use in this scenario to give your damage output the most, so you can get the most gems and you can get through the dungeon in the time limit that you're allotted. So it's a simple game. Like, I mean, it's simple on the cover, but like once you start digging deeper into like the levels and you start going further into the game, you get there's more depth to it. So it's kind of interesting. It's got my attention. It's great to play. It was a great game to play until my friend Pedro came along, and now like I don't even want to play that game anymore. So
it's pretty. I'm looking at pictures of it right now. It's definitely a pretty game. But
yeah, I mean it's very pretty. It's very hectic. It's very fun. Like I don't have any problems with it. Like I like it. It's just the one gripe I have is that they don't give you enough of a tutorial. Like, some places go tutorial heavy. This one basically just says, okay, go out there and figure it out. And like for the first like 2 or 3 levels, I didn't even know that I could buy other heroes to stack on top of my character. Like, so I was just getting killed like left and right. And I was like, why am I not doing enough damage to get through this level? It's like the second stage in the game and I can't get through it. And then I realized, I could just buy people to stack on top of my guy, and it makes me tougher and it gives me more bonuses for my special moves. So, once I figured that out, it opened up a lot more doors, and I was able to fly through like the first half of the game pretty easy. So,
this is what I was saying during the Outer Wilds. It's like this is what Dark Souls has wrought on gaming. Just, figure it out. Like that's like everyone's thing now. Is just like, we're not going to tell you how to play the game. Just go play the game.
I do want to say this though. This is a game that I want to play that came out 2 days ago that I cannot wait to play, but I can't what's the word, rationalize to myself or to Lisa why to spend $60 on this. But I'm really excited about Samurai Showdown. I don't know if any of you guys played it, but like my dad ran a Mazio's Pizza, which is like this pizza joint when I was a kid, and he had 2 games in there. One was Samurai Showdown, the other one was this robot baseball game.
I love robot baseball. Yeah, the Neo Geo one.
Yeah. Sure. And dude, and my dad was the manager, so I got to play for free. And I just remember playing hours and hours of Samurai Showdown. And I can't remember any of the characters' names, but I just remember playing that game and loving it. And now, as I'm older and I understand fighting games a lot better now, like I really want to play with their weapon system. But I cannot rationalize spending $60 on that game right now.
Yeah. Well, especially because that's a game that'll be $20 in the holidays. You know.
Yeah.
What I mean?
And I need to see how they're going to support the game, because like from what I understand, there's only like 12 characters, and for a $60 game, and if you're charging for a season pass as well, like that's not in a world where you can pay $60 to play Overwatch and have like 30 characters. Like it's just kind of not worth doing that right now, especially an unknown commodity like this Samurai Showdown game. So.
But does it include the little like gremlin looking dude that has the huge claw?
Ooh, I don't know. I've
Genin, something like it was something like that. I forget. But yeah, like he has the massive claw. You know, that was always my dude when I played Samurai Showdown back in the day.
Gosh, this game looks so fun.
I haven't played that game in a hell of a long time.
I was gonna ask you if you ever played the game, Shannon.
I did. I loved it. Like, I mean, it just wasn't. It wasn't very popular around where I grew up. Like a lot of the pizza places and arcades that I had either had like Mortal Kombat or like Street Fighter. It was very rare that you saw a Neo Geo cabinet anywhere around here. But like when there was one, like if I went down to like the South Bay or like San Francisco and there was one like kicking around, I was playing it like on a regular basis. And it, you know, because it had like way more games. Like to have like a tower like that had more than just like one game. Like, you know, the multiple settings like set up to play like either like 1942 or like what was the other one, Metal Slug, or you know, Samurai Showdown. Like any of those games that were on the Neo Geo cabinets were fun to play for me. So I wasn't any good at it, but you know, like you were saying, like I was really young when those games came out. So it'd be interesting to kick it around and see what it's about now. But like $60, dude, that's way too steep. That's about $40 too steep for my price range right now.
Yeah, and it's I don't know, but it's funny because when you were talking about the growing up and around this area, it's true. Like, and also if you did run into a Neo Geo, it had Fatal Fury.
Yeah,
it didn't really have Samurai Showdown, or it had like what was that? What was
it? Rage or
no? It was the Geese Howard fighter. It was like the other big Neo Geo fighter that it's killing me.
It wasn't King of Fighters or
it might have been King of Fighters actually. Yeah, World.
Oh, King of Fighters was the guy with the hat.
Mm-hmm.
When in that King of Fighters, the skinny guy with the hat.
That's Fatal Fury.
Oh, okay.
But he was in the Fatal Fury dude. Was in King of Fighters too, though.
Yeah. I'm gonna Google it, and it's going to be great radio.Hold on one second.
we got to come up with some like theme music to play while people do Google searches.
It's just it's awful. Yeah, well, it's King of Fighters. That's the one I'm thinking of for sure. Right. But it was like, it was either Fatal Fury or King of Fighters. That was like the games you saw. It was Samurai Showdown and Samurai Showdown 2 were like super rare. It was like, oh, that one store over in that place at that one plot has it.
Yeah,
you know,
like I have friends who have no idea what I'm talking about when I mention this game, and I'm like, and then because like I said, my dad ran this pizza joint, but like we had an arcade in Valdosta too that never had that game, and so like. If you apparently, from what I've seen, like unless you went out of your way and had a Neo Geo who had this game, you rarely saw that specific game.
Yeah. It was a solid fighter. I liked it. I was a fan back in the day. I think that's all the games we got. Should we go into a little movie talk?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, for Father's Day, Grandma took the kids, and me and the wife went and saw John Wick 3.
Hell yeah, you did.
That's a goddamn movie right there. I tell you. So I'm not gonna go too spoiler because Shannon hasn't seen it yet. But
it's my favorite of the series.
I love that it takes up exactly where 2 leaves off. Like,
yes,
2 just bleeds into 3. Like 20 minutes later, let's go. Like we're still on the clock. Let's move it. You know, and there's no like, oh, I wonder what happened or how did he get here? No, he's still running. Like, remember at the end of John Wick 2 when he's running? Yeah, he's still running. That's what's happening. Like, we're doing that. And I like that you get a little origin history there. I liked Angelica Houston or I don't know who's the mob boss.
Dadgummit, I can't remember his name. No,
the woman, Morticia Adams.
Yeah.
Angelica Houston.
She's Yes. You're
Yeah.
She's
So she's a mob boss and she's rad. I'm not gonna give away when or how it goes down, but the fight that involves the two attack dogs, it goes a little long, but those dogs taking people out are never the best thing I've ever seen on TV.
and Halle Berry is incredible.
Oh yeah, she was great, but also doesn't overstay her welcome. Gets in, gets out. Like, it was good.
Just like Ian McShane.
Yeah.
God, that dude eats up scenery better than anyone.
And man, it ends with just a give me 4. I'll watch 4 right now. Like, just press play. Let's make this happen. And oof, it is astounding to me that they haven't screwed up that formula yet. You know, I think John, you have Keanu Reeves, who has said maybe 20 sentences throughout 3 movies. You know,
and that's okay.
And it's totally works. I don't want him speaking more. They've built out this crazy world that every time they add to it through 2 and through 3 now just makes it cooler. Like, I just want to know more about it. I'm a huge fan of the John Wick franchise, and give me more of that, please. So, what are you guys been watching?
I went and saw Toy Story 4.
How was it?
I guess I'm just in the anomaly, but like, I thought it was really good, but I still think that 2 and 3 are much better, and I think 4 was a better ending, or 3 was a better ending for the entire series.
So here's the thing. I kind of don't care about Toy Story. I never have. Like,
okay, yeah, and I think we talked about that last week.
Yeah, and it was just it's one of those things where it just never grabbed me. I don't know. Like,
and I think that is a complete age appropriate answer. Like,
yeah.
But for me, it was perfect. Like, I mean, I was in middle school when that game came out, initially, or when that first movie came out, and so it meant a lot to me. But I agree with you, Shannon or Zach. When I like watching 4, I was kind of like, I mean, this is fun, but I have seen better animated films since 3 than this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still think 3 is the perfect ending for the franchise, but I've seen better. Like, I think Into the Spider-Verse has completely spoiled a lot of us, because it may be the best animated movie ever.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But this one just kind of does its thing, and Woody is great, and not Bill Murray, Tom Hanks is awesome, but I kind of feel like they shafted us they kind of leave out a lot of the original toys, and that kind of bothers me.
The sleeper movie for best animated all time that I would throw out there. Kubo.
Yeah, Kubo was.
Oh, heck yeah.
Kubo's one of those movies that like no one talks about, but as soon as you bring it up, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Kubo! Kubo's so good." It cracks me
like
up.
we just did.
Yeah, totally.
Kubo's so good. The animation in that movie is so freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about a weird movie that I saw, and that weird movie is called The Perfection on Netflix. And if you don't know any idea what this is what I'm talking about, that's perfectly fine. This movie is about a young girl who we follow, who is like apparently returning to her old stomping grounds of being a expert celloist. And she was apparently really good, and she's going back to the company that once hired her. Her mother has since passed away, and she's coming back. And then begins this and then you come across the new protege, like the new girl that everyone loves. And you find out like she's really good, and so was the girl before her. And then begins one of the weirdest just stories of revenge I've ever seen in my life. And I wish I could give you more information, but I can't because it's so fucking weird. It is so weird. But then at the end, all of the weirdness comes together, and you understand why you've gone on this journey. And while I think it has a powerful message, I think some of the logical decisions that the main character makes still doesn't fit. But it was still weird and fun if you are into those just like mind f movies. Because this is definitely one of those type of movies. So, and I'm trying to think. I think there was one other film that I saw recently. Shannon, have you seen anything?
Yeah, I actually put my big boy pants on this weekend, and I was hanging out with my cousins, and we watched the movie Us. I'm not usually a fan of like those types of movies, suspense and like horror. Or like, I thought it was going to be more of like a horror movie. Like, typically, I don't like to be scared. However, my cousins were like, "Oh no, it's more of like a thriller kind of suspense movie." So I did watch it, and like you were saying earlier, when you saw this, Robbie, like the first like 45 minutes of this movie, great, like awesome movie. Like I like it. I like where they take the direction of the story. The rest of this movie, like once that first home invasion, like sequence is done, like, and they go to like the rest of it, like it kind of starts to fall off rapidly. So I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I think that the beginning of that movie is one of the greatest home invasion films of all time, and I just think it over-explains itself by the end of the film.
It's 20 minutes too long. It's straight up 20 minutes too long.
20. I would say it's. I don't know. I just feel that sometimes people try to go like they're looking for something new. I get it. Like you're looking for something that hasn't been done before. But this was I felt the explanation was just kind of like it like
I'm fine with ambiguity.
A little stupid. Yeah, explanation a little stupid. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, and this is just more on the social commentary that we're dealing with today, but I just kind of feel like you're not allowed to comment on this movie because it's got apparently some racial themes in it. And I just think it's kind of unfair that just because it's about those things doesn't mean it's automatically great. And I just think it struggles to explain itself. There was I saw Aladdin. I think we already talked about that. I saw my wife and I went and saw The Dead Don't Die with Bill Murray and
how was that?
Dude, I freaking loved it. It is the weirdest freaking movie ever that I loved. I loved every second of it.
So does it rival like Shaun of the Dead or
no, it is too stupid to be that. No, okay. It is very self-aware in what it is doing. And it is fun, but by the end of it, like they don't stick the landing. But it was still just very fun, and it's very, very, very self-aware. But I did laugh a whole lot in that movie. And then
that's a ranking we should do is the Edgar Wright movies.
Oh, I do that. Wait, are we talking about all of his movies or just those movies?
No, those movies. The Shaun of the Dead, the Hot Fuzzes, the End of the World. Like we should do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, because I was gonna say Baby Driver is my all-time favorite of his films, but I'm down with you on that, Zach. The last movie I saw since the last time we talked was Anna, which Russian supermodel becomes John Wick essentially.
Oh yeah, I've seen posters for that, and I think I've seen a couple trailers for it as well. It seems pretty interesting.
Okay, 3/4 of that movie is awesome. The action sequences are incredible. She apparently she did all of her own stunts. She does a great job in the film. Her acting is fine because she's actually a Russian supermodel, which is odd. Just because you rarely see.
Sure,
you rarely see anything like that. Luke Evans is in the movie. Cillian Murphy is in the movie, and Helen Mirren is in this movie as well.
Dame Helen Mirren, show some respect.
Yeah, I apologize. Like I said, 3/4 of this movie is really fun, really just a really great popcorn flick. But then, just like with Us, I think by the end of it, they just tried to be more than they were, and it just kind of falls flat. But I've seen a lot of movies lately, so yeah, there you go.
Nice.
And
I definitely got to get on that John Wick
it's so freaking
movie.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
So, Robbie, I got a question for you. Are you going to be so they're going to re-release Endgame tomorrow. Are you going to go see it
Of course I am.
for that one deleted scene?
Yes. But I'm not going, like, while I'm going for selfish reasons, I'm also going because my friend and pastor did not get to see it when it first released.
Mhm.
And so I'm going to go with him. But also I have AMC stubs, the A-list stuff. So I'm not even really I'm not paying for it. So yes, I'm going in. So it will be my 5th time seeing it in theater.
You think they had a stinger at the end that introduces some X-Men or some Fantastic Four? Or...
No.
I don't know. I hope. I want to look forward to something.
No, didn't they say they were going to do a tribute to Stan Lee? I think that's what they.
The hammering cuts back in, and you see a guy making a metal mask and putting it over his face, and it's Doctor Doom.
Oh my gosh, I would love that so much. I would love that so much, but I kind of hate that they've kind of already said that they're not going to do anything like that, and that's not the purpose of this. But at the same time, like, it's a purpose for me wanting to watch it. Like,
Yeah.
Well, didn't they already choose like their 2 villains for the next for their next phase? Like
Did they? I didn't see anything about that.
I know that they said for the Black Widow movie, Taskmaster will be the main villain, but other than that, I didn't see anything.
So I read a great theory that Taskmaster would actually make a great new villain, just in the, like, because you're not going to have Iron Man anymore. You're not going to have Captain America, well, the Steve Rogers Captain America, but you could have Taskmaster being like all of those guys, because that's just what he does. And but you have to fight him now.
Taskmaster is such a good villain when written correctly, and just his whole concept, like what he is. Like, and if you don't know what he is, he can basically imitate anything he sees. He can imitate any ability or anything he sees. So whenever he fights Spider-Man, like, it's a real kick to the pants for Spider-Man. But no, I agree with you, Zach, 100%.
Well, all right. So, I've got a child screaming her brains out. So, Robbie, why don't you go ahead and take care of the outro here? Because I'm gonna duck out.
So, guys, thank you once again, as always, for coming and hanging out with us and listening to 3 grown men talk about video games, and sometimes not do a great job of that. I think, as always, we could always appreciate each other a little bit more. We can always do a little bit more for people. And so we always try to encourage that. Also, please come check us out in our Facebook group at the facebook.com/thatpixellife. Also, please like, review, and subscribe on iTunes and any other portal of podcasts. And as I always say to every student, every person that I come across, go and be great.
Bye.
I'm sorry, Shannon. I didn't come to you for an outro. My bad.
No, that's fine. I don't care.
I've literally never done that before.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that, though, because I went in to check on her, and I think she's having a night terror. So, because she's not even like looking at me when I went in there. So, and the worst thing you can do is wake her up. So,
yeah.
Is it?
Oh yeah, don't, if they're having night terrors, just let them go. Like do not get in there. Do not try to pick them up. You're only gonna make it 10 times worse.
Well, guys, I would love to keep going, but I am exhausted. So I will talk to y'all later. And I'm exporting this to MP3 right now, Shannon.
All right.
So in the morning, I will upload it to the Dropbox, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I'll edit it tomorrow night and probably put it up on Saturday.
Cool. Love you guys. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, all right, do, man. Later.
Mm-hmm.
You stop the broadcast.
I will stop it.
All right.